Welcome to the greatest sports show in the world. Good week, everybody. Hey, I don't know if you remember me. My name is Nick, and I do this podcast. And so does my friend Jason. Jason, what's going on, my man?
What's happening, Nick? How are you, man?
Man. Well, it's been a rough summer and fall, but I mean, I'm making it. I'm happy that we're back. I've missed doing this shit. I do notice a wardrobe choice. I mean, I know people if we're just doing podcasting. I mean, I don't know if you're trying to signal anything with this choice, but it's vertical black and white stripes. I don't know if this is just trying to make yourself look slim, or if maybe you're trying to tell something.
Slimming, taller. The vertical stripes make you look a little bit taller, which I definitely need. But no, for those that haven't heard, I am officially a beer league official.
Oh, an official.
That's right.
Oh, but well, as much time as I've spent in my day shit talking officials.
Yeah.
It's only right. I mean, I brought a goalie on this podcast because people said I hated goalies.
Yeah.
I have now people say I hate officials, and now here I have an official on the show as a part of the show. So we're rewriting narratives here.
That's right. Yeah.
But I do want to tell you, when I told Peck we're bringing back the pod, I said we're bringing the shit back. We're about to fucking podcast the shit out of things. And he said, good, because I need Jason to come back and bring back the narrative that I get assist. And I said, well, listen, Jason's an official now. You're never getting another assist again. The beer league officials do not pick up assists. So sorry, Peck, you don't get assist anymore.
Well, actually, last night I gave out my first ever secondary assist because the play was so good. It was so good that I said, yeah, I got to give that first pass the assist. So I gave out my first secondary assist last night.
Wow, that's a milestone. In how many games?
I'm probably close to 20, 25 games now.
Okay, wow, and one secondary assist in 25 games. That you are. I mean, you're there. You are on top of the beer league official hierarchy now. That's just right. That's perfect. So, listen, we haven't been here basically what Nashville tournament, so August. And I've already give us a Facebook league, give us a Vegas league for the. Listen, I don't know how much you guys know about me, but I love putting jerseys out there. I love it because I have these ideas, and my man Tim at Envious Gameware, no free promo, but I mean I got a shout out to him. He doesn't get any. What were we giving him? Negative shout? Yeah, no negative shout out right now because Tim's been killing it with these jerseys. Like, we have these ideas, Tim fucking pumps them out, and then I'm like, yeah, change this, or maybe he nailed it on the first try. And I can tell you that if I had the jerseys for Vegas, they would be out there. But I can tell you, I can tell you if I had the jerseys, they would be out. Listen, they'd go out of my Snapchat first because I'm trying to build. I'm trying to branch out into different platforms just to make sure. So they get leaked on my Snapchat first. So if you're not on my Snapchat, which is obviously Nick loves the number 2 puck. Nick loves the puck because I do. Actually, I hate it. But if I had the Vegas ones, I promise you'd have them because the first one was fire. Did you see the first one?
I didn't. No, I'm not on any social media.
Yeah, I know, and I forget
Unless
to send
you post it
sometimes.
to Twitter, I'm never going to see it.
Yeah, or in our group text, which has been low. But I will tell you that it's Christmas movie, Ugly Christmas Sweaters, and the first one is Christmas Story with Cousin Eddie. No, it's okay. Oh no, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. Well, I just leaked myself. There is a Christmas Story one. Sorry, Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, okay.
With Cousin Eddie, and he's standing there and he says, "Shitter's full." And it's a fucking banger for sure.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I see someone. All right. I know people can hear me now.
I got you. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Here's what happened. I don't know why, but my road cab. I mean, I spent a shit ton of money on this shit. I spent a shit ton, and we can't ever get it to fucking work. But there's a reason why. So sorry, but listen, Jason does not. Uh, yeah, Jason does not work at Foot Locker, but I wish he did. he's an official. Right here. But anyway, he doesn't work at Foot Locker. He basically he basically is the number one beer league official in the world right now. Yeah. The official BLPA rankings. He's up there. But before we get too far into this, I got to say this. You got to go find us on all our social media channels. We're at the BLPA on everything. I'm over at Nicker Jones on Twitter and the Nicker Jones on Instagram. You can find Jason at Beer League Jason on Twitter. It's literally the only social media that he has. I like that the live fans are saying that they're glad to have VIP box because I got this beautiful hoodie I'm wearing, Beer League's finest. If you haven't got your box, I'm sorry. But yeah, so lots of went on since we have. I've had a rough ride. I told people that I would talk about it. I want to normalize having these conversations, and I will get into it. I don't want to cry on the podcast, but you know what? We're all here. It's all here for love and support. But we will talk about basically why I've kind of taken a break from a few things, but we also got some really outside of draft experience. That's what people know us for, and the bash. Now there's something new that people are going to know us for, a new thing that we're doing, and we set up our first one today and basically sold it out today, and it's literally 15 months in the future. And that's how much people want it, right? And so we'll talk about those things, and then obviously, I mean, with the number one beer league official in the world now on the podcast, we're gonna have to talk about some beer league referee stories and do that. So here's the deal: why we haven't been, other than Jason's a busy guy and I'm a busy guy, and we got a lot of shit doing. There's just been a lot of shit going on in my personal life. If you guys are in the group, you guys know that I lost my mother not too long ago. Man, mom was awesome. She was one of my biggest fans. You usually would see her on this podcast and it chirping me mainly in the chats and telling me to watch my language. She'd text me and tell me that she's washed my mouth out with soap. And so even just doing the podcast was something that I was a little bit dreading, just because I know how much she liked it and it made me think of her. But now it's kind of a way to honor her in a little bit too, because I mean, she always supported everything I did, and I always want to make your parents proud, and so now definitely that. So basically, I do want to do some more things to honor my mother. I mean, my mother, like I said, I mean, I wouldn't be anywhere without my mom, and I think that's how most people feel. But my mom was big in everything that I did, and so I think we're going to get into golf and do golf tournaments to support her, and we're going to do that because she hated golf. I know that's funny, but my dad. Here's the deal: my dad was basically her caregiver for the last few years. I mean, she had both her legs amputated, so she wasn't mobile without my dad. But my dad also liked to golf, but my mom didn't like it when my dad was gone, and so she hated golf. Right. So I'm like, okay, cool. So we'll throw some golf tournaments to raise some money. And obviously my mom, like myself, type 1, or she was a diabetic. I'm pretty sure she was type 1, but she was a real bad diabetic complication. That's how she got both her legs amputated, but also some kidney disease. So my idea is that we'll do something, because I'm diabetic too. So maybe we'll raise some money for diabetes or kidney disease, which is what ultimately led to her passing. And so, I went through a really, really tough phase. I mean, I've lost grandparents, but I never lost a parent. And I know she'd been sick and we saw it coming, but when she, and as a matter of fact, right after we left Nashville is kind of when it started, and she was in hospital getting dialysis, and the issue was my mom was a very headstrong person. Imagine someone being headstrong and not telling you what to do. Yeah. And so she wasn't going to do what she wanted to do. And so she struggled. And when she didn't like the dialysis, she just didn't want to do it. Right. She was supposed to take some pills for some calcium, and basically, if you don't take it, it can make you sick. And sometimes she wouldn't take it because it was a big pill and she didn't like big pills. Right. But nonetheless, she went to the hospital. She had started getting some sores, and basically the dialysis was causing the sores. And it's something that happens in 1 out of, I don't know, 200,000 people. And doctors came back and said, listen, you can prolong your life by taking the dialysis, but the dialysis is killing you, and not taking the dialysis will kill you. What do you want to do? And my mom's been struggling for a long time, and my mom just said, I want to go home. And at that point, they gave her 30 days, and she told me she was going to make it 60. Because that's what my mom did, and so she didn't make it 60. She made it right around the 30 days, and luckily for me, I got to see her when she was still mom, like she was still in bed, bossing me around, making me go get her onion fried cheeseburgers when I was down there, and I left on a Thursday to go to Lake Placid, and she passed away the next Wednesday. So luckily, I still got to see her. But the one thing that I am proud of is that before I left, she basically demanded that I do her eulogy. Okay. Which is very hard on a kid to stand up there and do it. And she said, "Can you say all the pretty things about me that you said about my grandfather, or my grandpa, her dad?" And I said, "Well, do I have to tell the truth?" And you know what she said? "You always say never let the truth get in the way of a good story." I said, "Okay, all right, well." So I got up there and did that, and so that was special to me. To be able to do that, but that's kind of what I had been dealing with, and it made me. I don't want to say depressed. Maybe I was depressed, but I say that now that it's my mission to normalize these conversations about being upset and not being yourself.
I think we lost your audio again.
You lost me again? How? You lost me or I lost you? Can you hear me now? Oh, this is ridiculous. Hold on, let's see what's going on here. Doop 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 doop. Hello, check check check. I think it might be you, Jason. If anyone's in the chat and you can hear me, let me know. I can still hear Jason. I don't know if he can hear me. I think it might be yours, but nonetheless, I'm gonna keep going as you guys can hear me. So basically, what I'm trying to do is say, hey, it's normal for people to not feel right, and it's normal for people uh, to not be okay. And so, at the urging of Tanis, I went to can you hear me now, Jason?
Okay. Gotcha.
At the urging of Tanis, I went to the doctor and talked to my doctor and told her what was going on. And she, prescribed me some antidepressants, some anti-anxiety stuff. I just wasn't happy with the world. And, I was laying in bed all the time. I just didn't want to get out of bed. So I took these pills and I felt a lot better. It's not something I have to be on forever, but then getting through my mother's passing, then we had to put my dog down last week, and so it's been a rough go. And I know people have a lot of rough lives. I mean, my dog was 16 years old, almost 17 in like 3 weeks. And so she had a good run, but she was just basically not able to stand up on her own all the time. Like her legs would slide out from under her. She didn't seem like she was in pain, but she was also couldn't hold her potty, so she just shit herself whenever, which is fine. I mean, I've shit myself before. It happens. I mean, I'm not gonna put myself down because I shit myself once. But she, so we put her down, and that was pretty sad. But I do want to say this: if you ever have to put your pet down, it sucks.
Yeah.
But 100%, what I would do is do the at home euthanasia. Like, we brought in a vet. My dog just laid around. My dog was still so food motivated. The only time she'd get up and have any spunk is if she had an opportunity to get some food. And so I think to be able to lay with her, like on her little dog bed while the doctor injected her stuff, and she just laid there and basically stopped breathing. But she wasn't unhappy. She wasn't sad. She didn't seem like she was scared. And so I would say, if you ever have to do it to ease that pain, I would do it at home. It was so easy and stuff. So that's what's been going on with me in terms of, why I kind of haven't been around doing this stuff for a while. I really missed it. I mean, this is a big part of my life. I love being out here. I love being able to talk to everybody and interact. And I love people hearing, and I love talking about the stuff that we're doing. And so hopefully it seems like everything's and now they're kind of going upwards and getting better. And so I'm excited about doing things again, which obviously is a good sign because a happy Nick and excited Nick is a Nick that does really cool shit, I think. And so that's basically it. So Jason, anything been going on with your life? I mean, I know you've been a busy dude as well.
Yeah, man. Nothing like you've had to deal with. Just busy with work, and obviously busy with my second job now as the #1 official in the BLPA. But yeah, I knew you were dealing with the mom stuff as well. It's funny. because you guys don't see the behind the scenes, but usually Nick's texting me every week, like, hey, when we doing the podcast, when we doing the podcast, when we doing the podcast. I knew you were dealing with some stuff and I wasn't getting those texts. So, I was just kind of, dealing with my normal everyday life kind of stuff and, giving you some time to get through your stuff.
Yeah, and I wanted to also say, and I appreciate that for one. I appreciate everyone in the group, because the group was a huge godsend. I know you don't see it, Jason, because you're not on Facebook, but
yeah,
just the amount of people reaching out via text and that it was just been. I mean, it's very humbling. One,
sure.
to hear how much impact you've had on people's lives, especially when you're going through a time where you need someone to make an impact on your life, right? And so I want to say thank you for that. And also the people that said we missed the podcast. We want to hear we want to hear you guys. Because when you're busy doing a lot of things, this almost becomes an afterthought because it's not a paid gig. I want it to be. I want to be able to pay everyone to do it, but you kind of get down because you don't get. For me, like I like interaction. I like talking to people. I like people, commenting on our stuff, tweeting us about it. That's how I know that we're doing a good job. That's how I know it resonates with people. So. Comment if you're listening and you're not on the live feed here. Just send us a tweet. Tell us what you like. Answer our questions. Make fun of us. Tell us we suck. Tell Jason that he's an official and he fucking sucks. We like that stuff, right? That's what we like. And to hear the amount of people that actually listened to it and missed it when it was gone, it meant a lot too. So I do have one question as an official, Jason.
Okay. Yeah.
How's it feel to be an asshole?
It feels pretty good, actually. Yeah. It's one of my favorite parts of the job.
Okay, not really an asshole, but I do have some what's your line? Like, have you been there? Have you had to toss anybody out yet?
I have not tossed anyone out. I did have a shit show of a game yesterday where I gave out 4 10-minute misconducts.
4
to
the same guy?
No, 4 different people. But no, it's actually pretty hard to get under my skin. The closest a guy has gotten to getting thrown out, and he couldn't really get thrown out because it was the end of the game. But I probably could have suspended him for a game. Is the game was over, and there was a guy who was clearly not happy with the officiating throughout the game. Not necessarily just me, but both of the officials on the ice. Game's over. The puck's kind of sitting in the neutral zone. I'm skating over to go pick it up, to put it up while they all go to the handshake line. He's skating back to his bench to get in line for the handshake line. And as I'm going to get it, bend over, I'm maybe like 3 feet away, but I've already started to bend over to skate by and pick it up. And he skates by and knocks it all the way down the ice into the other end of the ice. I laughed and just said, "Oh, dick move," and just kept going. Because again, I'll just go pick up the puck. It's not that big of a deal to me. My partner on the ice didn't see it. And he said I should have suspended the guy, if for nothing else, just to set a precedent that you can't be an asshole to the officials.
Yeah, listen, I'm guilty. I've been an asshole to the officials. So here's a couple questions from the peanut gallery. When's Jason's Dex referee debut?
Whenever you want it to be. I'm ready.
Okay, I like that. This is a big one. I need to know that you have integrity and that you're here to officiate a fair game. Do you have the cojones, big old huevos, the balls, the plums, to kick Peck out of a gold medal game?
Listen, there's nothing I have to say to defend the size of my nutsack.
That's meaty clackers.
I don't have to say anything. Mm-hmm. But I will absolutely throw Jeff Peck out of a game if he deserves it.
For sure.
I'm not going to do it for no reason, but if he deserves it, absolutely, I'll throw him out.
Okay. Hey, and that's all we really want. We just want fair officiating. Now let me ask you this. Do you think, you were at the tournament where Jeff got thrown out?
I was, yes. That was Baltimore.
Did he Philly in January for your debut? Listen, Jason doesn't like the cold. So the outdoor rink is probably not where Jason's gonna make his debut. Do you think Jeff Peck, in your view, this is kind of like when they do instant replays on NFL and they bring in the head official to give his thoughts on it, and they say, okay, what are you seeing here? In your opinion, was the call right or was it wrong?
So I was there. I think I came in at the tail end of him yelling at the official. So this is what I'll say. I support other officials, so I support that official's decision to throw Jeff Peck out of the game.
But what's the conundrum? What if Jeff Peck now becomes an official? Do you only support officials when they're officially officialing, or do you support them at anything?
Because I support officials in an official capacity.
I want to be honest and frank, and this isn't a shot at anybody out there. It's not a shot at goalies. It's not a shot at officials. It's not a shot at people that think that I'm wrong about things, but I'm really right and they're wrong. It's not a shot at any of those. I forgot where I was going, but it did have something to do with Jeff Peck and yelling at an official, because there are times where I've heard you disgruntled at officials too.
Sure, and I've been yelled at a ton since I started reffing games.
Okay, I know where I'm going.
I've never thrown anyone out.
I was going to say officials are the worst critics of officials when they're playing in the game and not officiating. Like I'm just like, God damn, you're a referee. You should. Why are you being a dick? He's like, he should do this and this and this. So
that's 100% true for some people. Like, I don't think all officials are that way, but what you're saying, like the top 1% of people that are super critical of officials are generally officials. I've been on a bench with a guy who was an official, and I looked at him and I'm like, don't you do this? Like, why are you yelling at him for calling that offside when it was that close, and you know how hard it is to call an offside that close?
Yeah. It's just here's my one gripe. The biggest gripe about officials is I wish they all drop the puck the same on faceoffs. Because I've had some pretty bad, like, and listen, the only thing I'm good at in my life, or in hockey anyway, other than planning hockey shit, is taking draws. As a center, I'm very good at draws. I don't want the defensive responsibility. I'm not back checking. It's just not going to happen. But I'm good at. They're really on you on this Foot Locker thing, aren't they?
Hey, when I was a kid, I thought working at Foot Locker was the coolest shit ever, because you walked in there, they looked official.
Exactly. And listen, if you worked at Foot Locker, would you backdoor me some of them drops though?
Oh, absolutely. I'd be backdooring all them drops.
Backdooring them drops. So I just wish they would take more pride in their face-off drops. Because that's what I like, taking face-offs.
Yeah. So. I think I'm pretty decent at it. And one thing that's funny is I think I'm a funny official. We've talked about this before. The official that's able to joke with you is generally the better official. And there's been times where I've dropped a puck and it bounced to fucking hell, and I'm like, "Oh, that was a bouncy one, boys. Sorry about that." Like, as the play's still going. So like and if I miss one, I'd be like, "Oh, might have missed one there." So I try to keep it light and like try to let people understand, like, I'm a human like you. I'm doing my best, and like,
and listen, you're not a pro. Perfect. You're not a pro. Like, I mean,
and pros miss shit too. You ever watch a fucking NHL game?
Oh no, I don't watch that substandard product. So I don't know. But yeah, do you think we could maybe get like a mic'd up a beer league official?
I'm 100% down for that.
Okay, we'll have to figure, because I mean I have the stuff to do it. We just have to figure out how to get me there. Or when you're there, and just get you there and see what we can do, because like they have like Nick the goalie, and he's pretty popular, and so if we get like Jason Footlocker Limbacher on the Footbacher, if we get Jason Footbacher in here just doing some live commentary, I think it'd be
funny, because again I like talking to people while I'm out there. I'm not quiet.
Yeah, no, you're not. So, okay, then that's what we'll do. Do you have, before we move on to all the cool shit that we're about to get into, do you have any of some good ref stories that you could regale us?
Yeah, I've got a couple. So last night, I told you I had a shit show of a game, 4 10-minute misconducts. Before that happened, 2 games before that, me and my partner were getting ready for the game, and as you know, the first duty of the refs before the game starts is they got to go check the nets, and they check all the doors to make sure all the doors are secure, and then they go for puck drop. So we're getting everything done. He says, "Hey, have you checked the nets yet?" I said, "Nope, I haven't checked them yet." He said, "All right, I'll go get that one. You get that one." I'm like, "Great." I go down to my end. I'm pulling the net from behind, making sure there's no pucks, and I hear the goalie. I'm looking down because I'm pulling the pucks out or whatever, or making sure there's none there. And I hear the goalie go, "Hey, your partner might need some help down there." And I'm like, my partner might need some help. I look up, and the other referee is in the net and the net's pushed all the way against the boards off the pegs, and he is down and out. And I'm like, what is going on? And I hear him just yell, somebody get the door, somebody get the door. So he skates off holding his arm. Somebody opens the door and he goes out. I go down to the other goalie and I'm like, what happened here? He's like, he was coming in and he was going to stop to check the net, and he caught an edge and he went down face first and he was going into the post with his head. And so he put his arm up to stop himself. Dude broke both bones in his arm clean on the post as he was sliding into the goal.
So that's insane. No one knows the pitfalls, the hardships referees go through. But now that you tell me that story in that way, was there anyone that could collaborate that goalie story? Or
I see where you're going with this.
I mean, maybe there was some beef between this goalie and the ref.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
I might have to do some investigative journal.
There's got to be some live barn and see what really happened, because the goalie down there seemed pretty calm. It's like, oh, he was just skating, caught an edge.
Maybe that's
I
mean, I wasn't able to see it, so I can't make the call because I didn't see it.
Yeah, no, I'm just speculating. Speculating.
Maybe we pull that footage.
Yeah, I mean, let's pull it. Make sure. I mean, I want to make sure that goalies, this goalie's not getting away with something, because he was pretty detailed in his thing. Like, oh, he was sliding head first into it, so he put his hand up here. Yeah, that just
like where you just watching the whole thing. You didn't even try to help him. Nothing?
Yeah, you couldn't push. Like I've seen, like a goalie makes a save and kicks that fucking net off. Like anytime he moves, anytime the puck's close to him, a goalie will knock that net off so the play stops. And you're telling me that this goalie couldn't say, boom,
Yeah, you might be right. Hey, for the person that asked, the rink is Bellevue Ford Ice Center, and then when you get there, there's 2 rinks. It was on the Terry Crisp ice. So
and it was last night.
Feel free to look that up. It was last night. It would have been around 5:00.
Hey, what if we figure out this goalie did it, and we've broke news?
We just blow the whole thing wide open.
We're making the game more safe. That's what we're doing here. No, it wasn't the Nashville Dex. Was it? Yeah, it was the Nashville Dex rink. Yeah. So, well, let's figure it out.
The other story I'll tell you, and I'll show you guys. This is what it looks like when you get hit in the butt with a puck while you're reffing. That's a bruise.
That looks like you said on chocolate.
Yeah, it's not. That's a straight bruise right there. That's on
a
the
butt bruise. I like that. Last referee question before we move on.
All right.
You being a referee, does this help or hurt Frank's game?
I don't think it does either. Look, I am a man of integrity.
Okay.
I would not give Frank any special treatment that I would give any other goalie.
Okay, that's fair.
Listen, I know I'm a man of integrity because one of the games I had to ref was my own roster team's game.
Ooh, they let that happen. Okay.
Yeah. I had to ref my own roster team's game, so I skipped the game and refed it. I gave out 3 penalties to my own team, only 1 to the other team, and my team lost. So, man of integrity right here.
Okay, but you do love Frank more than your team, so it's kind of
true.
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, I'll do some investigative journalism myself. I mean, you already got goalies allegedly hurting officials, so there's some shady shit going on. It's allegedly. Yeah. I mean, this isn't proven, but we'll prove it. We'll get to the bottom of this. BLPA Investigators Inc.
That's it.
LLC. All right, we got some cool. We do got some cool shit coming up. I know you're a gambling man. Have you won any money lately? Because you were on a heater there for a while, I think.
I was on a heater for a hot minute. The last probably 3 weeks I've cooled off. I'm not like down big or anything like that. But I've been closer to even, or maybe even down a little. But yeah, for a while I was hot.
Are you going to sue the NFL like Dave Portnoy because they didn't divulge Joe Burrow's injury, and now Dave Portnoy's all up in it? Or do you think this is just Dave being? I mean, it is Dave being Dave for sure. But did it cost you money?
It did. I had a Burrows prop bet. Now, I bet mostly through ESPN Bet, who is they're associated with Penn, who used to be Barstool's app, but Barstool doesn't have one anymore, and now it's ESPN Bet. They actually gave me a bonus bet back for the amount that I had placed on my Joe Burrows wager.
Okay.
So they made it right. Here's where I want to sue the NFL. I know this isn't hockey related, but I just want to get
it's
it out there.
Sports. It's great sports show in the world.
I'm in fantasy football. I'm sure you probably are too, or have been, and you have been before.
I was damn good at it for sure.
Yeah. So I'm in a 16 team league. It's a big league, and even worse than that, it's a 2 quarterback league. Okay, so you can have 2 quarterbacks play with 16 teams. There's only 32 teams in the NFL, so that means
one quarterback per. Okay.
It's I had 3 quarterbacks on my team because I knew it was a 2 quarterback team, and I'm smart. So I drafted 3 quarterbacks early. I had Joe Burrows, Jared Goff, and Brock Purdy. Okay. So 3 fantasy wise decent quarterbacks. However, the rest of my team was trash. But I was holding on to these quarterbacks to make trades because I knew people would get desperate. And I wanted to no sound.
Well, I can hear you. You're good. I just can't. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I got a note that said my microphone restarted for some reason.
Yeah. So I had 3 quarterbacks. I need other positions, specifically running back. I'm holding on to these 3 because everyone's getting desperate. Finally, somebody says, listen, he's got like 4 starting running backs. He's like, I'll give you any 2 for any one of your quarterbacks. And he sends me a trade proposal for Joe Burrow. I know he's desperate. So I'm like, no. I'm going to keep Joe Burrow because that's my best quarterback. And you can have Brock Purdy instead. And he accepts it. And it goes through Thursday morning before Joe Burrow goes out for the entire season.
Damn.
So had I have known that information prior, I would have been like, yes, you can have Joe Burrow because I'm afraid he's hurt. I would have made that trade. I would still have 2 good quarterbacks and I would have 2 good running backs. But now I'm down to 1 quarterback in a 2 quarterback league. And I'm basically fucked.
But can't you just pick up Joe Burrow's replacement?
Yeah, but the way our waiver wire works is shit. So I'm like number 7 on the waiver wire right now. And we can't pick him up till Tuesday. And everyone needs quarterbacks. Yeah. So somebody on the first 6 is going to get the guy before I ever get a claim in. So I'm basically just fucked.
I used to be real big into fantasy football, but when I could watch the games every Sunday, right? And now I don't really have that time to do that kind of stuff. But I was in a Canadian league when I got up here, and I remember I cleaned up. Yeah, I did. Yeah. I'm like, this isn't Canadian football. Like Canadian football league here, and I'm not tooting my horn being from Oklahoma, big football state. But the Canadian football league is like my high school. Like I think my high school would probably, if not win every game, they put up fight for sure. My high school team. Yeah. But I can remember the first league I got. Like it was a keeper league, right? But the keeper league was wherever you drafted the guy, that's the round you gave up, right? And so first, second, third. So the first year, I remember it was crazy. Like I had Antonio Brown in the 4th round. This is when Antonio was a fucking stud. Like this was and it's when I had Todd Gurley in the third round, and so I was keeping that. And then if you picked up a free agent, you got him in the 16th round. That was your 16th round keeper, right? That was the year that OBJ broke out, and I picked him up the day before that game where he did that fucking grab. Oh, yeah. And so I had like 3rd, 4th, and 16th with the top 7 player. Like I was running the league. And then they started changing the rules. We're like, okay, now every year you have to bump up. You're going to keep him for 3 years before he's not. And I'm like, get the fuck out. Like, get the fuck out. And so I got pretty disgruntled because it wasn't a free league. Like we had to pay like $200 to be in the league. Yeah. And so I was winning some money. And then they started changing up things where they were like, okay, well, instead of doing the winner gets the pot, we're going to break it up by a week, which is cool. But not when I was winning the pots, because I was like,
you wanted the pot.
Yeah, I wanted the money, right? But then when I got into doing all the tournaments, I just didn't have time to like sit down and focus, and I like to win shit. Yeah. So enough fantasy football. Let's talk about BLPA worldwide. All right. Because that shit's fucking smoking right now. So here's the deal. And I'm not dissing on anybody. I don't diss people here. I just do my own thing. But there's a lot of drafts out there, not just ours. We have a ton of decks, but there's a lot of other companies. Not there's like the old company I used to work for. There's another company that's doing a lot of 4-on-4 stuff, whatever. And then there's other people. So there's a lot of drafts out there. And when we were doing them, like there was really just two of us out there when we started, and so that's what people go. And I still love the drafts, but I just thought they were getting saturated. And so then I wanted to focus on the BLPA Bash, which is our team stuff. Yeah. And so we went from 5 tournaments last year in BLPA Bash to this year we're gonna have 12 to 14 of them. I'm working on 2 more cities. And so we have that. And then the winners, we're going to do the Beer League World Championship. It's going to be either
Yep.
in Tampa or it's going to
Okay.
be in Minnesota. Tampa's my number one choice, but they're trying to make sure they got the ice. I know for sure we got the ice in Minnesota, right? So you win a BLPA bash, you get to go to the Beer League World Championship. That's a vision I've had for a long time. I want to do it like softball. I was a softball player, and we went to the World Tournament, but you had to win like an NIT, an invitational to get an invite to World. And so I always want to do that with hockey. So here we go. But that's like, you know what? There's other ways to do things. Obviously, I love to travel. I'm forever traveling, right? But I don't get to, when I go to these hockey things, I don't normally get to go out and see a lot of shit because I'm busy doing the hockey things. And I was like, well, why don't I create something where people can come play hockey, but they can also turn to a vacation so they can bring their significant others or their kids or whatever.
Yeah.
And so, I know there's a lot of these tours already out there, but I was like, we have enough people that love doing what we're doing and just love being involved in this community that we have that I think that we could do something. And so it started off with like, okay, well, I want to go to Scandinavia. Like I like Iceland. I've always wanted to do a Dex in Malmo, and one weekend, and the next weekend a Dex in Copenhagen,
Yeah.
and hang out with each other a week. But I was like, okay, let's make hockey not the number one focus. We're still going to play hockey. We're going to play 4 games of hockey in 4 different cities, but we're also going to have a day and a half in each place to hang out, travel, do what we're doing. What's up, Carolyn? Scandinavia does look dope. I'm glad to see you. I hope we get to see you soon. So we're going to start out in Oslo, Norway.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to fly in there, get to the hotel, and we're going to have some fun time. Then I've rented a tour bus for this whole trip. The next day, we're going to drive to Gothenburg, Sweden.
Okay.
When we get there, we're going to have a guided tour, and then we're going to hang out. And then the next day, we're going to play a local beer league team. We've got 2 teams going, so we're going to play 2 local beer league teams. And then we're going to have a team dinner that's paid for. And then you have time for you to do a self tours or whatever you want to do. Then we're going to drive to Malmo, Sweden. We're going to do the same thing there: tours, play local teams, have a self guided tour, team dinner or a group dinner. Then we're going to go over to Copenhagen, Denmark. Same thing. We have a couple tours lined up. There's some self guided time you can have. We're going to play some local beer league teams, and then we're going to get on a fucking boat, and we're going to cruise back to Oslo, Norway overnight.
Okay.
And then Oslo, we're going to do some tours, play local beer league teams, and leave. So it's a 10-day trip, right? It includes all the games. It includes all the tours that we have, the team dinners. There's 4 team dinners. It includes breakfast every day. It includes the hotels. It's $3,500.
I dig it.
And there's going to be a lot of people don't know this, but there's some surprises that are going to come from BLPA. Obviously, you're going to get BLPA jerseys because we're going to team BLPA, but there's other stuff that you're going to get too, which I think is going to be cool. I know I was actually getting ready to get to this, and Carolyn just said, "Tell me how good the local teams are." How I don't know. That's the thing. Now, it's a little different when you go to these European places. I'm sure a lot of people have been, but they do like clubs. Like they don't do like, oh, you can just go join a Division 10 beer league team because they just don't have that much hockey, right? So they'll have like these clubs, and within the clubs, they'll have the tiers. And I've already talked to Gothenburg, and I've already talked to Malmo, and I have meetings with the other 2. And this isn't until 2025, right? So it's 14, 15 months away. But the way they have it set up is like they'll have like tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, tier 5, and tier 5 is like their lowest. It's not necessarily beginner, but it's not skilled people that have played their whole lives. So we're probably going to play a tier 5 and a tier 4 team, and we'll split up the people that are going because we only have room for 26 players and 4 skaters, and so we're gonna do that. We'll split up 2 teams. We'll have the better players will play the tier 4, and the lower level players will play the tier 5, and so that's how we're going to do it. And listen, I played teams before from like the Czech Republic that said they were low-level beer league teams. They fucking smoke the fuck out of us. So we might get smoked the fuck out of. But at the end of the day, it's not actually what it's about. It's more about experiencing this world together through our shared love of hockey. But I like it because it's $3,500 a player. If you don't play, if you're not a player, it's only $2,500, and it includes all the same stuff except for the hockey and the swag. Right. Awesome. And so there's a lot of cool things you can do. A lot of people are going to bring their significant others. And so that one, we literally opened today at noon. And right now, I don't know what is 9:00. We literally have like 3 spots left, 3 player spots and 2 goalie spots. Like it just took off to where maybe we do a back-to-back trip because it's 10 days. Maybe we do back-to-back. I don't know. So there's Yeah, Carolyn, come on. Yeah, of course we're drinking beers.
What kind of question is that?
I mean, I don't know if they let you do it in the parking lot, but we're going to drink beers, and
Somewhere.
we're going to get drunk. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And it's not just local boys, Carolyn. I mean, it could be local girls. It could be anyone, right? I mean, it just gets me whoever wants to drink with us. We're going to drink with. And so I was like, okay, well, that's a long way away. I want to do one before that. That's just kind of how. So I was like, where else? Where else can we go? And I was like, well, Salve. I'm ready to go to Italy. Buongiorno. Yeah. I'm ready to roll. I'm ready to give Nick's history tour lessons. And so I was like, well, let's see what we can do. So they're pricing now. It's probably going to be the same, but it looks like it's going to be Rome. I've already talked with the rink right outside of Rome that not many people know we're there. They don't know it. It doesn't even show up on the thing on Google Maps most of the time. So it's a little secret.
Okay.
So we got Rome we're going to play in, looking at Venice, looking at Milano. And so there's a lot of cool stuff going on, and that one hadn't opened yet, but I don't know if we're going to take one or two teams to that one. I mean, if it's smaller, we can take one, but if we can get two teams, let's get two teams and go over there and roll. And I know that is, I said my one, when I was talking to the travel agent, the one thing I want to do, Herculaneum probably not going to go, but Pompeii is where everyone likes to go. And I got to go to Pompeii. Herculaneum is cooler because it's a little less touristy, but whatever. I'll do Pompeii too, because I've never been to Pompeii. Mainly because I want to go see all the carved dicks on walls that point to the brothels, because Romans love to fuck, and they love to fuck in brothels. They just did, right?
Yeah.
And so all the graffiti was dicks and stuff, and so I'm pretty stoked about all this and being able to I've been to Rome before, but to go even more in depth on Rome, and to do it with hockey and to do it with you guys. So
are you going to be the paid tour guide on the Italy trip? Because I feel like I know what you listen to when you're driving across 30 states to get to the next tournament, so I feel like the history.
Yeah. Oh, I know the history. I think I even let out, if you've never heard me speak Latin or never heard me talk an Italian accent or tell my Roman stories, such as this story. And it was a story about Publius Clodius Pulcher, who is a very popular man, and he snuck into this all-female religious ceremony called the Bonadea. And basically, if there were men there, no, it's only for women. And it was hosted at the house of the person that was in charge of the church at that time. And he went there to hook up with this guy's wife.
Okay.
That guy was Julius Caesar. And that's where you get the phrase, Caesar's wife must be above suspicion, because he divorced her. But because Publius Clodius Pulcher was a famous guy and Caesar didn't want to ruffle any feathers when he went to the court case to do it, he said, hey, listen, I wasn't there. I don't know if it was him. What do I know? It's all female. It's all female stuff. I don't know. I wasn't there. I'm like, well, then why did you divorce your wife over it? And Caesar said, well, listen, Caesar's wife must be above suspicion. So that's why I divorced her. So cool stories like that we can go through and talk about that kind of stuff. And so I'm pretty stoked about that. So that one's probably going to open the next week, and who knows, maybe it's going to sell in a day. I don't know. Right. So, but it's called BLPA Worldwide. That's what I wanted to call it.
Parks and Rec. Play on Prestige Worldwide.
Shout out Parks and Rec.
Prestige Worldwide.
Yeah, and so I just didn't know what else to call it. Like BLPA Tour, I was like, well, we're going worldwide with it, so BLPA Worldwide is what it is. So, so we're doing that. Japan, that's a Dex. That's not the tours. That's going to be in May, and it just opened for full registration day. We'd had like 22 or 24 pre-registration, so we've got to pump those numbers up. But I'm super. We're going back to the same rink that we used. Because the Tokyo people said, "Oh, we might give you ice, but we won't know until 2 months before." And I'm like, "That's not going to work for me.
That can't work." Yeah.
So I contacted the people that I worked with the last time, and actually I didn't contact them. I got tired of not speaking Japanese, and I just hired a translator that's working for me over there, doing all the work. And she's been great, and she's really hammering stuff down for us. And Good. So I'm pretty stoked to go. So hopefully we'll get some people to go to that. I mean, now there's so much stuff. I mean, that people just having to pick and choose, but we keep growing the base. We keep growing more people. And that's kind of what we want to do. But Japan's going to be wild. I'm super stoked about that. I will be staying in Shinjuku, the red light district again, because it was an incredible time there. I don't know if I will be staying in a sex hotel again this time. I mean, I'm not opposed to it, but since I started talking about Japan, I've got a 6-year-old bastard. He's not a bastard. I'm his dad. But he's now in my ear about I just want to go to Tokyo Disney, Dad. I just want to go to Tokyo Disney. And I'm
Yeah.
at this point, like I'm gone so much. Like, how do you say no? Like, and I always say I'm gone because I'm doing this for you.
Right.
I'm trying to provide and do cool stuff for you. Well,
now he's like, all right, there's something you can do for me.
Yeah, his answer to that is, well, Tokyo Disney is cool. And I'm like, fuck. But then you look at prices and you're like, God, like the flight pricing now is pretty insane. I mean, I actually just booked my flight today because it dropped down to like $1,800. Now listen, $1,800 is not economy. All right, I'm bougie.
Yeah. Sure.
I got points.
It's a long flight.
It's 10 hours and 45 minutes. But I couldn't afford Delta One laydown. But if anyone works at Delta Airlines and you listen to the stuff, you listen. Let's get Operation Get Nick in laydown seats. But I'm in Delta Premium Select, so it's a good seat, but it's not laydown seat.
Right.
But on the way there, it's the same thing I did last time. I was in a laydown seat when I went the first time. I'm leaving Seattle 11:15 a.m., so I don't even need to fucking sleep. Right? It's a 10-hour flight. I'm just gonna watch fucking Shameless and and that stuff.
Yeah.
You're a Shameless fan, aren't you?
No.
No, you don't like it? No. Okay.
I've watched some of it, but meh.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's a good show. I mean, there's a lot of nudity. I like nudity, so it works out well. You know.
Have you been on the internet, Nick? There's a lot of nudity on the internet if you're just looking for that.
Reddit. See, Carolyn loves the nudity. She's right there.
Yeah, she's right.
No, I mean, Shameless is a great show. I've been into some. Have you seen The Lincoln Lawyer?
No.
Man,
I don't watch a whole lot of TV. Man.
It's Netflix, bud.
Okay, but even that, like, I don't. Okay. Like, I watch The Office over and over again.
And Friends. Yeah, I mean, shout out Matthew Perry. Obviously, rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace.
But that is sad.
Yeah,
isn't it? Like, just
because he's crazy, kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah, and like basically, I mean, I don't know what it was. I mean, obviously, he's had battles with addictions and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But like to overcome that, and let's say you just die of a heart attack hanging out in your hot tub.
Yeah,
that's a shit, man.
Yeah,
man. At least you have a hot tub, I guess. I don't have a hot tub. I got a bathtub. Yeah. Don't stay hot. I want to find a way. I mean, I guess the invention is a hot tub. How do you keep a bath hot all the time? Yep. But I can't put a hot tub in my bathroom.
Not with that attitude, you can't.
Well, that's true. I mean, I guess I could. I mean, but you know what I'm saying? Like, if I want a bath and maybe I want to read an ancient Rome book, I don't know. Light some candles, maybe get a little wine.
I'm getting a hot tub at my house very soon. So next time you're in Nashville, you can come over to the hot tub.
Lay down and just read my Rome book. Light candles and shit. Okay,
let's go. Whatever you want, man.
I'm in. Okay, hey, listen. On this podcast, there's a vision in my head of what I want to do. Right, and I've told you, like, I want to get it more segment oriented. I want to be able to do cool stuff with it. And one thing I'm into right now, I go through these phases, right, where I just get. I don't know if you know, like, I have like 100 pairs of Eagle gloves.
Do you?
Yeah, listen. I'm on this Yeezy kick right now.
Yeah,
and I
know you've been texting me nonstop about them.
In the last month, I probably picked up like 9 new pairs.
Okay,
right. And so I still want your Dazzling Blues, but you're 10.5, like I thought I was, but 11s are the way to go. They're way more comfortable with the 11s.
Yeah, a little bit wider for sure.
A little bit wider, a little bit longer. You know, everyone likes wider, longer. And so I've been gaming a lot here lately, and I've recently stumbled into a video game that almost ruined my life.
Okay.
In the days. Diablo 2.
Love that game.
Great game. It's fucking insane. And listen, when I was in college, I had a baseball scholarship when I went to college, right? But my roommate was not an athlete. He was a cool dude. His name was Darren. Kind of a nerd. He got me into this game called Diablo 2. And I did have my own computer, but it wasn't like a game. It couldn't really handle this shit, right? So the only way I could play is to go to the college computer lab.
Okay.
And load the game on. But you couldn't keep it loaded on. And it took like an hour to load the game. The little fucking there was a little fucking gargoyle, and he held a little sand glass, and it would fill up. Boop, 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 boop. And then you had to delete it at the end of the day. It'd take an hour to do it. But I'd be in there every day. After class, like, I'd go to practice sometimes, and I'd go play Diablo 2, and I was addicted to it. They wouldn't stop. My coach basically said, "Say, hey, listen, if you're not here to play baseball, if you just want to play computer games, maybe you can go find a computer game scholarship." And so it almost affected it. And then like after I got out of college, I kept playing. Then I dropped it. And I came back, got addicted again, re-addicted. And I finally dropped it again. I think it was my back surgery. So 2012 when Diablo 3 came out. I made a bunch of money playing Diablo 3 because I found like this recipe to craft gloves. And people would pay me to just do a bunch of glove crafts for them, right? It was insane. I literally spent $100 on the game or something, and I like in the first 2 weeks I made like $1,500. It was insane. But anyway, so they revamped Diablo 2 with all modern graphics and stuff, and you can play it online. And I've just been fucking D2 resurrected. I'm literally like, okay, here's what I'll do. I'm just gonna stream myself just doing 100 Travanacle runs, which isn't fun for anybody but me.
But
I can talk to people.
Watch it.
Yeah, and listen, I'll just talk to people. We'll talk about life, and who knows? Maybe I'll pick up some WinForce. I'll pick up some of the goods, man. I mean, I'm addicted. I love it. But I thought, okay, well, why don't we make a segment where I play video games, but it's video games people suggest.
Okay.
And then I'll play it, and we'll talk about the video game every week. The first one's going to be Diablo 2. Next week we'll talk about a little more Diablo 2. Yeah. Like Leisure Suit Larry, that was a big one when I was a little kid. Everyone wanted it because it had computer nudity. And listen, I was 14 or 15. So this is like 1995, 96, 97.
Nudity was hard to come by back then.
It was because we were on dial-up internet. And like when I was in 8th grade, my friend got the internet. He was the first guy on the street to get the internet. And he was like, oh, come over. We can look at this porn. And we're like, yeah, all right.
Yeah,
and we go. And he downloads a picture. The problem was it was just like, and it would just like lines of this picture. And it took like 2 hours to download one image of a girl's boobies.
Yeah.
But we loved it.
Yeah.
And then we'd print it out.
And you put that hour in there.
Yeah. I mean, we did other things while it was loading because it was like we only had a certain amount of time between when school was over and when Josh's mom got home.
Right. And then boobies got to go away by then.
Yeah. So we got it and printed that thing out in black and white. We didn't have a color printer. We just carried this black and white boobie. Yeah. And listen, Josh would sell these things at school.
And I bet he made a killing.
Yeah. I mean, listen,
his parents were probably like, where's all our ink going? These printers sure don't. They say you can print way more than this.
Well, they're not efficient at this point. In 95, we didn't have efficient printers, right? So we could get away with it. It's like, well, maybe got a leak in there. I don't know. Yeah. And so, Josh did make, I mean, listen, I went to the school where, you had to fucking grind. I didn't have to. I was, by that time I was firmly in the middle class.
There you go.
We are poor, but when I was a young kid, if I would have had to sell nasty porn pictures at school, I would have done it. Because at one point I was eating like bread sandwiches, cheese sandwiches with no cheese, just mayonnaise or not even mayonnaise, Miracle Whip and bread. I mean, we were poor at one point. And so,
hustlers always find a way.
They always find a way. And now I'm out here hustling hockey tournament. And listen, Carolyn, no one canceled Kanye. Okay. They canceled him. And now they're realizing this guy had some fresh shoes. We should let him make some more shoes.
So to be fair, he lost his contract with Adidas. So anything that they sell is stock that they have. He's not making any money on it.
No, he's still making money. He still gets paid for what the back stock. He just can't do any more.
Right.
I read that he made like $140 million off that last drop.
But I think they had to pay him out or like give him away. Like they didn't have a choice. It wasn't like they made more and they're like, okay, we're gonna have to pay this money. It was like, we have this stock, and if we want to sell them, we have to do it. And they did like Adidas did a kind of anti-hate campaign to go along with it. So every pair you bought came with like a pin that was like, anti-hate. So I think Adidas handled it right.
Yeah, I did too. But
at the end of the day, you're right. Ye just has some great shoes. Like regardless of how batshit crazy he is, his shoes are great.
And listen, I'm going to go on record and say I love Kanye's music. Kanye makes some good fucking music. He has some questionable shit too. He's a weird dude. But at the end of the day, I believe Kanye is a genius, a musical genius. And I think what some people don't realize, and maybe I don't realize it, I'm just speaking out of my ass here. I don't know, maybe. But when you are that gifted at something and you're that rich and you have that much power, you lose all fucking sense of reality. Because at that point, rules don't fucking apply to you. It's just the way it is, right?
Right.
And so I think that's kind of what got to Kanye. And listen, Kanye also lost his fucking mom because he got rich, because he was poor. He got rich.
Yeah.
And then she got plastic surgery because he could afford to give it. And she died from complications from plastic surgery. That fucked with his head too. Oh, and the fact that he's fucking bipolar and doesn't take his medicine all the time. So I mean,
that doesn't
yeah,
help.
I don't think Ye is in just a bad person. I think obviously the stuff
he's made some poor choices though.
He said some off the wall shit, and I can't figure out if he means it or if he says it
or if he just says it to say
to
it.
get a, and he just picked the wrong time and the wrong thing to say. I don't know, but I do like Kanye's music. I mean, his music is pretty fire.
Early stuff's really good.
Yes, Life of Pablo, and when he went to like Christian rap or whatever, he dropped the ball. But I think more like Spaceship Kanye, College Dropout Kanye. It's
College
fire,
Dropout
right?
for sure.
So maybe we should do a music segment, right? I mean, that sounds like a good one too.
Yeah.
Maybe we can
anything but television, apparently, because unless we're talking The Office or Friends, I got.
And hey, listen, here's the deal. There's that one chick on fucking TikTok. Are you TikToker?
Come on, if it's not on Twitter, I don't see it.
But I don't know if you just have a TikTok account and you just scroll through shit, right? There's that chick named you know who that Bobby girl is that does those weird interviews where she's just fucking awkward.
Yes, I do know who you're talking about.
I mean, she got on the scene and everyone says she's an industry plant, and then she got all those things. Like, why can't we interview some cool fucking let's get Kanye? Let's just talk about some fucking kicks, bro. I mean, we're not we're not hardcore sneaker. Well,
are we gonna do it in his bed?
Whatever. We'll do it at his ranch that he fucking let go to like mud holes or something. I saw on the internet today. So
just don't do it on a gondola because he does some crazy shit out there.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, listen, I not just Kanye per se, but maybe we talk to some musicians. I'm a big music guy, so. But other than that, I mean, listen, and then outside of that, we got a lot of fucking Dexes coming. I'm going to announce Salt Lake City as soon as I get it confirmed. We're going to do Salt Lake City. I think it's going to be in February. I've been working on that one for a long while. And so we got that coming up. And then obviously the team tournament. I don't know if you heard the new team tournament places, but we've Virginia Beach.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Burlington, Vermont. Denver, Colorado. Lake Placid in that rink. Okay. In that we did a Lake Placid Dex. Now we're going to do a Lake Placid Bash, right? Do you believe in miracles? Because that's the rink we're playing on. Lake Placid, Boise, Idaho, Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay.
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
And then, did I say Chicago? I think I said, maybe I didn't say Chicago's another one. And there's one more, but I just booked it and I can't remember where it was. But anyway, so we're going from 5 to 12. So we're going to have a lot more team tournaments.
I might have to do one. So, hey, if you got a team out there, I don't have a team that I travel with. So if you've got a team out there and you want me to come to one of these and you want me to be on your team, make sure you're in a lower level and then hit me up and I'll be glad to do that.
Jason hasn't had very good luck in team tournaments.
Have not.
Although
the one BLPA bash that I did, we made it to the championship game. We got destroyed. But we made it to
that was with Alyssa's team, right? The Daddy D ones.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Right on. Yeah. Columbus is obviously going to be. My goal is to have every tournament 18 teams this year. That's the goal. And listen, if I get it to 18 teams, I can hire someone full time, which is my fucking goal for 2024. Like I want to focus on. I have some other shit in my head that's percolating, and when that stuff gets going, I start going fucking, and so it's time. It's time. If I can hit this goal, I think we're in a financial situation where I can hire someone full time. So if you're looking for a full time gig in hockey, you're gonna do everything I say. Whenever I said no, if you're looking for a full time job, this could be. I mean, listen, it's not gonna be $100,000 a year job. I don't even make $100,000. I don't even make $60,000. So maybe it's $6,000 a year job, and you make more than me, the guy that owns the fucking place. So that's where we're at. I mean, we're at a place where helping grow what we already have, and then also kind of backfilling the future. I mean, VIP. We need more VIPs. We got some VIPs dropping down. VIP box are still pretty cool, but I do have ideas for that. And Tanis is actually on that now because I have the ideas. I just don't have the time to facilitate those ideas into it. And so now I've got Tanis on that. So Tanis on that. So if you're not a VIP member, beerleagueplayers.com. We got some fresh merch coming out. I mean, obviously this guy.
Yeah, I just got it. Just opened the box before I got on this call.
Yeah, and so also, follow me on Snapchat. Nick Loves to Puck. That's the number 2. Nick Loves to Puck. That's where I'm going to drop all the jersey releases early, just because I like interacting with people on Snapchat. No, I haven't got any, unsolicited booby pics or even dick pics. But I'll send out.
If I had Snapchat, I would hook you
up. I'll send out Nick pics like nobody's business. So if you want some Nick pics, and I'm continuing talking because I wanted to see this logo or this one logo that's coming on our shirt, and I wanted to get Jason's opinion on it because I think it's pretty cool. I'm a big fan, but I just don't. I have so many pictures. That's my problem. We got so many. We got the pond hockey tournament coming up too.
Oh yeah,
like we got that. We got 11 teams ready for that, and that once that comes out, fire. Oh, here we go.
Yep.
All right, Jason, are you looking at the? I don't know if you'll be able to see it.
Oh yeah, I dig it.
Yeah, that's looking good, isn't it?
Yeah, the purple and the teal there pop.
Yeah,
pretty good.
And hey, also, I want to ask you a question since we're here. My hat game's been weak. You know it. I know it. I'm not afraid to admit it. I'm not afraid to say I need help. So we got to get some hats going.
I can appreciate that.
The thing is that I hats, because I don't think the logos that I have fit hats. That's why the hat game's been a little weak, right? So I've got a guy working on just they call them badges. So he's got some badges working for us to make hats, and so that's on this list too. So that's that.
Okay.
So that's all the shit that we're working on, and all the shit. And listen, I'm sorry we've been gone. I've been in a bad spot. I'm in a better spot now. Jason's been fucking becoming a referee. And so we're going to try to get to this more regularly because I feel like, one, I miss it. I enjoy it. I feel like other people miss it. And so let's do it. And we can get people to talk to us. If you want me to play a video game, if we want to set up somebody to just be an absolute dick to Jason on the ice so we can get Jason's reaction, we'll put it in play. I don't care. What I want to know is what I have to do, what I would have to do. And listen, Jason now knows that I'm doing it, so it can't be me. But maybe we can do like that Ashton Kutcher punk thing where the guy's wearing a thing and I'm talking shit to this guy and he's talking to you, and we'll see what the fucking line is to get kicked out.
Just don't call me a motherfucker.
I've been called that before. It's not good. But anyway, that's it. I'm glad you guys are back here with us. Hopefully we'll get this audio uploaded soon. Hey, come to Scandinavia. There's only a couple spots left. Come to Rome. Tell me where else you guys would like to play. I mean, we're just fucking organizing tours. Anywhere is reachable. What if we could go to Dubai?
If there's ice, Nick will find it.
What if we go to Dubai? That'd be cool.
No, I'm not doing it.
I wanted to go to Egypt at one point for the history, but all my military. You're not going.
I'm not going to the Middle East. Okay. I'll go ahead and tell you. Frank's been trying to get me to go to a F1 race there for years, and if Frank can't get me to go to the Middle East,
yeah, that's true.
No one's getting me to go.
I want to go to Egypt because of the history, and I've just listened to that. Not just, but I had listened to a 42-hour lecture on the whole complete history of the Middle East, and I was like, oh, that would be fucking cool. And then I saw something about like Egypt ice hockey, and I'm like, bud, let's go. And then all my military friends were like, listen, not the time to go there right now. Not at all. So speaking of 42-hour lectures, I also just started a 42-hour lecture series on the history of the United States. So, and listen, I grew up in the United States, so I know shit that's going on, but I'm learning shit. I mean, this is going back from before, like when there was nobody here, right? When the conquistadors in the 1500s were going to fucking Mexico and stealing all their shit, right? And that's working it up from there. So I'm pretty stoked about it.
Well, you have to give us some updates.
I will. I can tell you what happens at the end. We're living it.
Okay. Yeah,
we're there. We're living it.
Yeah.
All right. Other than that, guys, anything to add before you go?
Nope, that's it.
Follow Jason over at Beer League Jason on Twitter. You can find me at Twitter, Nicker Jones, Instagram, the Nicker Jones, and Snapchat. Nick loves the number 2 puck. All right, boys and girls.